What's going on? MJ Lennon here from ECA in Belfast, and I'm along with my bro, Gary Pettigrew in ECA Glasgow, and we are in their facility here. Myself and Gary, we were just chatting off camera, and we were just talking about, Gary has he's been with us, he's been with ECA, he's been operating ECA Glasgow for around about a year now, and I feel very fulfilled in the fact that all of the problems we set out to solve with ECA, the franchise, is now coming to fruition. And myself and Gary were just discussing some of those. So Gary, tell the viewer I suppose start with what you were doing before you and I had come into contact, and a bit about the business and where you were kind of at.
So me and my business partner, Chris, we had actually not long opened the fitness factory. It was actually, it was actually something that we had been planning for a long time, but various different aspects come into play that ended up delaying it longer than we had anticipated, and of course COVID came, which put it on the back burner again. So when you had approached us, we actually were still in our infancy. The gym had got off to a flying start. We were very happy with how business was running at that time, and it just so happened that is when the opportunity to join the ECA franchise came along.
Yeah, and because I know you were, it took us a little bit of time, which is fine, it's understandable, because you were just getting started up, and I remember you and I, we were kind of talking, and you were saying, I want to make sure I get this right. Now, like, what was going through your mind there in that sense?
Well, like I said, in a perfect world, the opportunity, I wouldn't actually say the opportunity would have been best presented to us a little later, maybe a little more established. I would actually say I would have preferred to have been a little more established a little sooner. Mm-hmm. It was just the fact that me and Chris were still kind of finding our feet. I mean, the massive amount of physical, emotional and mental energy that we had put into opening this facility was, it took a toll on us, and we felt like we were just kind of finding our feet when the opportunity got presented to me, and I just, to be honest, wasn't sure if I was ready yet.
Yeah, got it. Because you were a trainer for what, over a decade?
This is my 12th year I've been a trainer.
12th year. One of the things for me at least is when you get to the stage that you're obviously at as a trainer. Not to say that you never fall out of love with coaching, but sometimes you get the sense that maybe there's just a little bit more to give. And me personally, I'm like, listen, if you've been coaching for 10 years, you need to start passing some of that knowledge on to other people, right? Because I know you and I have chatted, like that has done something for you. So kind of explain a bit about that process as well.
So when I was working as a one-to-one trainer, listen, I have learned loads, especially from this man here, and I wish I had known him much earlier, and I could have saved myself from many mistakes that I had made in the past. But when I started as a trainer, I was working 13, 14-hour days, doing one-to-one training for a long time. And even when I had come to open the fitness factory, I got a new lease of life because we'd moved into group coaching, and that was great, and it's still my bread and butter, and I will never ever fall out of love with coaching people and training people, but you can only have so much of a good thing before it can start to feel maybe a little monotonous, and maybe it can zap the energy for you, and you feel you don't maybe have quite the drive that you used to have for it. So when the opportunity came to teach the students, although sceptical at the start about one or two things, now fast forward down the line, I'm coming to the end of what will be my first part-time course. I I have loved every minute of it. I really have loved every minute of it, and it's gave me a new lease of life, not just, you know, business-wise, but personally as well. The sense of achievement that you get when you help your first client lose weight, you'll never forget. And I've kind of relived that again by watching these students come through this course and just watch how much they have developed. I know that they aren't qualified yet. They're about a fortnight away from qualifying, but I am unbelievably excited to go and see just how far they can take their career in fitness.
Nice. Overall, how has adding ECA, the ECA franchise to the business, how has it impacted the business overall? Like, what has been some of the main benefits from taking on board the franchise?
Listen, quite plainly, one of the main benefits is the income.
Yeah.
And everybody gets out of bed in the morning to turn a coin. I'm just fortunate enough that I have not now just one, but two businesses that I love. And the Fitness Factory alone was enough to make me grateful, but I just feel incredibly lucky and fortunate that the opportunity to step into the ECA franchise was presented to us, and even more grateful that it has so far turned out to be a success. Not only do we have more income, but we also have opportunities that we wouldn't have had we not had ECA come on board with the Fitness Factory. Me and Chris, my business partner, were actually sitting down earlier on and we were talking, and we were just looking at the students when they were out there on the gym floor practicing for their practical, and just looking at the energy, the enthusiasm that they have. We are already planning on using that in the Fitness Factory, so we are winning at both ends. We will get to reap the rewards in the Fitness Factory from the talent coming through at ECA Glasgow.
Nice. And I suppose, you know, one final thing on this, because this is one of the things that I generally come up against when I'm dealing with gym owners. They're mostly skeptical because they're like, it's going to impact my gym in a negative sense because it'll take too much time away from me and it'll take, you know, clients off the gym floor. I know, bro. It's just like, you know, what has your experience been in that sense? Because you've delivered only a part-time course, you know, up until now, which many did you get on? Like 15 people?
It's 15 people here for the first course.
Yeah, which is fucking, you know, it's a substantial amount for the first course only, right? And it's, you know, how many hours a week?
7,
7.
10 till 5 on a Sunday.
Yeah. And has that impacted the actual gym in terms of the clients?
Not at all.
Not at all, you know. That's one of the, you know, one of the biggest things that we come up against. So if there was, you know, another gym owner watching this, which there will be, what would you say to them on that front?
You would be crazy not to take this opportunity. I really believe that. It's something that, if I'm being honest, I didn't feel fully prepared for when it was offered to me. I wasn't entirely sure how it was going to turn out, but especially with the help of you guys, which I have to give an extra special shout as well, because not only have you made it easier for us to progress and grow ECA Glasgow, which you are obviously a direct beneficiary of, but you've also helped us more than we would have expected or you even needed to in terms of the Fitness Factory as well. So we've leaned on your experience for that. Anybody out there with the opportunity to join the ECA franchise, I can only tell you that we have benefited tenfold from being part of this franchise.
Love it, bro. Thank you very much.